Take a look at this. Doesn't this look like a clean, professional budget report? There are no errors. Looks like the kind of thing you send to your boss. But, yeah, here's the but. Has someone done something they're not supposed to? Did someone add hard-coded numbers to any of these formulas? You see, these are tricky to find. If we're talking about hard-coded numbers typed straight into cells, those are easy to find. You just need to go to Home, Find and Select, go to Special, Constants, Numbers, and there they are. Every hard-coded value selected. But what about a number hidden inside a formula? Those are the real sneaky ones, because sometimes we might tweak a formula and forget about it. Yeah, I've done that. I've typed in a rate, for example, here in the calculation instead of referencing the cell, and then I forgot to update it. Now, go to Special won't catch that because the cell is a formula. It looks completely normal. So how do we find these then? You could go cell by cell, which is a major headache, or you could flip on Show Formulas and see them all at once. But that's just a wall of stuff. So I made this. It makes it easy to spot hard-coded numbers in formulas. Now I've added different levels on what to catch. So what type of hard-coded numbers to catch, I'm going to explain in a bit. But you can also grab the file, by the way, from the link in the description. You see, the tricky part with this is that not every number inside a formula is a problem. Like this one, it rounds the result to 0 decimals. Now this 0 is fine, but also notice we have other hard-coded numbers here. I'm referencing row 16 and row 8. Those should obviously be ignored. And down here, I'm looking up yearly cost from this table and then dividing it by 12 so I get a monthly figure. Now in this case, this 12 here is fine, but what if you're dividing a random number by 12? So you see the problem. It would be good though to filter the report to a smaller selection of numbers to check rather than checking this whole thing. One way of doing this is to grab the formula as text and then check for a pattern that might reveal that there's a hard-coded number there. You can define these patterns using regex, regular expressions. So here I have 2 regex patterns. This one catches more cases of hard-coded numbers and this one less. Yeah, it does look like someone fell asleep on the keyboard, but all it does is describe a shape of text to look for, basically numbers in certain spots. That's it. If you're interested to learn more about regex, I've added a link to the description. AI is also really good at writing regex patterns for you. Now, I've added 2 different patterns here and they catch different things. So this first one, formula numbers, this one only flags numbers sitting right after an operator, a comma, a bracket. So this one is still going to flag the zeros inside the round function. This pattern here, the cleaner review one, this one has a lot more exceptions. For example, it ignores standalone zeros and ones. So the way to use this pattern is like this. I'm just going to do an example here on a single cell, and then we're going to apply it to the whole thing. So let's take this cell, for example, with this formula right here. The first thing we need to do is grab the formula as text. And for that, you can use FORMULATEXT and reference this. Now what we get is the formula. Now we're going to test this against the pattern. So we're going to use REGEXTEST. Our text is the formula, which is what FORMULATEXT returns. And the pattern, I'm going to go with the cleaner review pattern here. So I'm just going to reference the cell. And that's it. A false means the pattern is not found, so no hard-coded values were found here. So remember, this specific pattern ignores the 0 right here. But if I would add plus 20, I get a true. The hard-coded number was spotted. Okay, so that's the idea, but I don't want to build helper columns for the entire model down to the side. A cleaner way is to use conditional formatting. The basis for our conditional formatting is going to be this formula, so I'm just going to copy it. Then let's just get rid of this. Now I'll select the range I want the conditional formatting to apply to. So I'll just select all of these and go to row 60, then home, conditional formatting, new rule, use a formula, and paste this in. Now we just have to be very careful with our cell references. My selection starts from A1. So this should be A1. And this is where my pattern is, but I need to fix it. So I'm just going to press F4. Now let's choose the format we want. I'll go to fill and apply this purple to it. So now this one got selected. Here we're hard coding 8%. This one, these we're dividing by 12. Here we have greater than 2000. This part is hard coded. And here I'm adding 2500. And here I have a +1. Now, if I wanted to ignore these, I could add 12 to my exceptions list in the pattern as well. So here, these are the list of exceptions. I'm just going to add 12 here. Now we can see the highlights disappear. And if we make updates to this, if we correct this, instead of hard coding 8% here, I would reference this, then the highlighting is gone. Now we can compare the two patterns I have with one another. So over here, I've added a dropdown where we can select the pattern that we want. So this uses XLOOKUP just to grab the pattern from here. Now, if we just update the conditional formatting rule to use this pattern, we can get the whole thing to be dynamic. So I'm going to go back to conditional formatting, manage rules. Let's go and edit the rule. The only thing I need to change is my reference here. So instead of referencing U9, I'm going to reference the XLOOKUP result. And OK this and OK. So now when formula numbers is selected, we can see more stuff is getting highlighted. I can switch to cleaner view, and then we get back to what we had, or go with none. By the way, if you'd like to learn how to read financial reports, we go deep on that in our Fundamentals of Financial Analysis course. One part is the finance part itself, and the other part of the course is using Excel the way a controller or finance person actually does. It's built for people who work with data every day in corporate. Check it out if that's you. Oh, and by the way, these patterns are just my own experiments, so I can't promise they're going to catch every hidden number in every formula you've got. You see, regex just sees text. It doesn't understand Excel. So just treat this as a starting point and use your preferred AI to tweak the pattern. You can use this prompt right here. Just tell it what you want to catch, tell it what you want to ignore, and it tunes the pattern to your own rules, right? So just make it yours. Now, if you happen to have a Copilot license, you can use it to highlight hard-coded numbers. In editing mode, use this prompt. Highlight only meaningful hard-coded values in formulas in the sheet or the workbook, not routine math constants typical to models like this. Since Copilot understands context better, it's able to do a good job. Look, it's found these routine constants in our data that it's ignoring. So these cells are highlighted. Yeah, each of these has hard-coded numbers it shouldn't have. I also tested it with the subtotal function, which can have numbers like 9 to sum or 5 for min, and Copilot correctly ignored these, whereas the regex pattern would have to be updated for that. Now I'm curious, what's the worst hard-coded number you've ever found in one of your files? Tell me down in the comments, because I can imagine some of these must be really painful. Thank you for dropping by and watching, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.